a fight.
Oh man, whenever you talk about Farang, we have to talk about how Farang is one of the most aggressive teams when it comes to close quarter combat. They never shy away from a fight. Very, very momentum-based team. They get their gears going. It's very, very hard to stop them. Now, GeekFam traditionally loves to drop Clock Tower, and I wonder if that is still going to be the same as it has been since 3 years ago.
Well, as they start dropping down, it looks like GeekFam is going to make their way down towards Clock Tower. We're looking for early contestations, and immediately we're seeing DL up against FRU up by the mill.
And DL will be able to get an easy knock, so that's first blood already, claiming the first point. GeekFam, on the other hand, actually will go to Clock Tower. It's public knowledge that you do not contest GeekFam on Bermuda when it comes to Clock Tower. They have a very high win rate when it comes to initial drop, and teams have learned to respect that over time.
I mean, the same could be said about Farang actually dropping by peak side. Usually, if it's highly contested, they like to drop down towards the lower grounds, but now DRS immediately getting into a fight here against Axis, both forcing out the 3v3. Now might even making it into a 2v2 soon.
Can Roy find this one? He's going to try and turn the corner. Will Happy will be knocked down. So Axis claims 2 points for themselves. And unfortunately for DRS, backup is not near at all. So no Axis, they're going to be settling for a pretty nice start.
Very good start indeed, in a matter of fact. But looking at Poach and Knock, at least we have a good spread from WNX. Now, WNX in particular has been struggling overall, not getting into the last final rings, but with a quick kill secure, Axis now taking the kill leaders.
WNX has a very interesting way of characteristics as a team. They struggle to get into the final circle, like you said, but it's also a team that you look at them sometimes and you're like, man, these guys can play the game, but why aren't they making it to the final circle? And most of it, for me, boils down to that mid-game decision when you start to move around the map and when you start to run into more aggressive teams. That's where they struggle a little bit.
Yep, looking at the northern side, VDR and as well as DL are within the ring, especially when they are playing from Riverside. However, we know that in a lot of these cases, Peak is highly contested, and Farang likes to be able to hold that top center of the map, making sure that if anybody passes by, they might be able to instigate a fight.
Very spread out as well, and they even have that UAV sent out, I believe, it's courtesy of Farang, just to scout out the southern side of the map. So a lot of those grounds are actually covered by Farang, and they still leave Jembao back at Peak, and they might see VDR moving towards there.
Now, one road separates Team BG Man Esports and WNX. Both are not taking an early engagement just yet, and there's no reason for BE to actually take the engagement since Mars Electricity, or at least 3/4 of the entire compound, is within the ring.
It's good to see that Vegeta is back, one of the OGs of Freedom Rumble back then, when we call them the run you down comp. they are just relentless. Think of Farang, but not as refined. Back in the days when people were running Vector Akimbo, that is the only way to play Free Fire. So thank God we don't have that meta anymore. But we do have the arsenal of the map. Axis Esports actually having their marker planted down at the observatory.
Uh-oh.
Visionary is also at that area. VDR, meanwhile, finds himself an easy pickoff. Nemo out in the open, no more vehicles, and only a glue wall to support him. It's not enough.
And that's going to be finishing him off pretty quick. That's a little rough. That means for BOP Disrupt, as well as for the Disruptors, they've only got one member left somewhere on the map looking to potentially get that revive. So the rest of the VDR members all here, ready to look down. DL taking his time with this shot.
A lot of trigger discipline. Looking for more info. Well, finally opens fire. Does have his teammate with him. Well, lovely Riptide Rhythm. Facilitation is going to be there. So get rid of the glue wall, finds an easy kill. Great
shot here. 3 points given over towards VDR. DL just going to back away from this without their scout. It's just not worth trying to take on a 3v4. Again, very slow. I would have expected some early contentions for more teams rather than just 2, but here we go. The engagement between BGMan Esports and WNX, high to low.
If you are BGMan Esports, you are definitely a bit more comfortable because you do have natural structures to protect you, and WNX, they know that, right? They're starting to throw all those glue walls, trying to find cover behind a couple of palm trees around that area, and Xbot is making it pretty difficult considering that you also have Kai7 who is starting to expand that territory.
Yeah, and this is the perfect time to actually look to harass people on the outer circle of the ring. Farang is too busy working on the northern side. VDR have already pushed FRU out of the way, and ARG might even continue to gatekeep them. This could eventually lead to a collision once the circle starts to really get tight, but for now, it's just about patience, waiting for the right time to actually slip through.
Man, you watch this, Farang is having a 2v4 moment right now against DL, so they're calling him back up. The other two members from the southern side are starting to rendezvous with their team. And you have this pincer maneuver, Jembao keeping 3 members of DL pinned down.
A literal one-man army here as the rest of Farang start to collapse on this, and even their anchor fight is going to get involved.
Man, Kenshin is having a rough day. They are constantly throwing clusters at him. The Alvaro is not making it easy. And now Space start to close the distance. The rush coming in from Farang, this is one of their specialties. Aleph will get traded, but in the end, it is going to be DL who loses out the first member. Kenshin also getting dropped. Farang just doing this methodically.
Very nicely done, very nicely done. Picking up the kills wherever necessary and getting the revives, making sure that this is going to be as clean as possible. Especially when you're contesting for the peak or stopping teams and going for these all-ins, you are giving up your position. You have told your anchor, hey, there's no reason to hold the ground no longer. Let's just secure the kills and finish off DL.
Very, very clean maneuver from Farang. Unfortunately for DL, you only have a bunker to work with, and early on, I believe Spade or Five through like a glue wall melter, though you can't even hunker down in the only structure you have. And that's a good start for Farang. 4 points for them. Meanwhile, Visionary is also engaging in a fight with Ego in front, trying to turn the corner to look for Exac, but you can clearly see that Exac is in the red. It's going to be easily dropped.
Well, it looks like Team Badut is actually behind Axis as well as they start pushing in towards VIS. Axis, they're backing out of this.
Not the most comfortable start for Axis, for sure. After the drop, they had to fight their way out, and now they're only left with Luffy. He was the first guy to get taken out first blood in this round. TB Badut, on the other hand, now will have to deal with Visionaries, but from the low ground.
Does this not feel a little ambitious here? It feels like crossing this bridge is costing them more resources than it is to actually take away from the Visionaries. But the ring is actually on their side, so if they can hold out with enough resources, they might actually be able to start pulling through with an advantage.
Just like you said, they're starting to fall back, and they also recognize that the glue wall resources on their end is starting to dwindle very, very fast. So Visionaries, I think they've done enough damage in terms of resources on top of TB. Now they gotta figure out how to get past Team Badut into the circle themselves.
Speaking of which, let's have a look at Freedom Rumble here. Not going to see the Tatsuya diff just yet as they go into CQC. The blue walls are already dropping down. They find the initial kills, but they get a quick trade back. 3v3 now boiling down to almost a 2v2. Hawkeye with just a little bit of HP. It manages to get the inhaler off to get the double kill.
Yeah, lovely, lovely stuff from Who's Next. And Freedom Rumble, they're not even fully committed to the fight, so WNX ends up getting 2 free kills. FRU, they will find that buy point to get the fallen teammates back, but they gotta start all over again. The resources that they have is not very much.
And it doesn't help the fact that Farang making sure that this area of the map isn't easy to secure. Their engagement with 2 different teams on 2 different sides of Peak.
You see, actually 3 different teams. VDR is also there. WNX is walking in. I mean, the fact that Farang not only control Peak the entire round, but they are so spread out. I think they spotted all 3 different teams. The UAV sent out towards FRU. VDR managed to kind of sneak by, but they got to fight with Team Badut. And Farang, they are happy staying here.
Yeah, man, it looks like they did. Ooh, WNX dropping a scan, actually spawning out one of the Farang members in the main Peak region. Farang now going to be backing off into the ring and start the gatekeeping.
VDR will start to keep Team Badut away from the circle. CBE will slow down a little bit, take some refuge around that factory area. VDR decides to abandon post immediately. They are going to start running into the center of the circle, which at this point of time is controlled by GeekFam.
Yep. If you look at everybody else, Kraken now finally getting involved in these fights from the southern western side, actually contested by Axis, who hold a lot more ground as they start making their way into the ring. If they continue to make enough noise, Visionaries might just pop down to say hello, unless DRS has something else to say.
Yeah, GeekFam are far away from the clock tower already, but it's going to be Zach starts to find that first shot onto Kraken himself. Nathan completely exposed from the backside.
Oh!
Wow, what a shot from Gao.
Great headshot, and they even secure the kill too. Now they're gonna start backing off here. Axis don't want none of this smoke no more, but VIS has been patiently waiting by Storm Drain's side. They might actually see this rotation and pick up a couple of kills for themselves.
Axis might have just signed a death sentence with that engagement against Kraken because Axac, they didn't have enough info to work with. They now lost one man, and they have to somehow get through Visionaries.
Visionaries, they did a scan on towards Clock Tower side. They spot 3, and now they know that there's a team there, and they just have to hold their area as the ring pulls to their side.
A bit lucky if you are on the side of Axis. But again, you're playing with a man disadvantage. Ego, it's 1 versus 1 against X-Roy, but X-Roy will get some support from his teammate, Luffy and Redface from behind. And it's G from DRS that knocks down X-Roy, a third party from afar, DRS. Sneaking away these points.
Oh, they sneaking away these points, but this is starting to get very, very hectic as we start moving in towards the very few rings that work with here. Geek Fam gonna scan Clock Tower. They spot out the Kraken members, but I don't think they spotted out the BGMan Esports. Speaking of which, Farang were able to actually get a couple of kills for themselves as they hold peak, but now that they have to rotate inwards, Geek Fam in prime position to gatekeep everybody.
Oh, it's a very, very late rotation for Farang. Meanwhile, Geek Fam, they're going to be receiving some uninvited guests. It's going to be Team Badut just flying straight in with a trampoline. Dawiz will have to hold back the members of Team Badut on the roof. Gotta find some sort of cover though. Team Badut, they're not gonna back down from this. In fact, the grenade launches from 4 Eyes found 2 members of Geek Fam. TB, now they can definitely strike as Envy will be dropped. FL Fleeks also kind of in the red. 100 health left to work with. Turn the corner to wipe out Geek Fam. And it's 4 Eyes to set it up.
And now Farang gets to walk in for free, right? The people who are supposed to gatekeep them now getting taken out. I'm not sure whether TB have enough resources or enough time to actually reset. No, they don't find any picks whatsoever. So now Farang can actually look to contest them. Dropping down the UAV gets the information of 6 members in the area. And now it's time to fight.
And Freedom Rumble also coming in from the northern side. So if Farang wants to make a move, they gotta do it now. Flush out TB, get control of the compound to have some cover. Aliv and Jemba will make it down to ground floor first. In fact, they will turn around and try to deal with FRU as TB evacuates.
Oh, that's actually really nicely, honestly, nicely done coming in from Farang, right? Spotting out FRU there is so important. They don't have to take that all in. They can start gatekeeping FRU. This gives an opportunity for Team Badu to walk out, and now the reign of hell starts.
Do they see where WNX is though? Visionaries, on the other hand, have their own businesses to deal with. Freedom Rumble getting wiped out completely as Visionaries takes care of the BOP disruptors.
Oh, but do they know that VGman is actually nearby? And VDR, they still have a member left just crawling around. He gets spotted out by the scan coming in from Axis, but Kraken don't know that.
I mean, the circle is starting to hurt. Fire is living with the inhaler, trying to outrun the blue. They took care of FRU early on, and in fact, they also wiped out 3 members of WNX. This is the Farang that we all know and love, and Yadop, there's no way you can fight this. Farang are literally bulldozing their way towards the circle.
I mean, right now, Kraken having a really good spot. They're going to take over the God Spot compound here in Clock Tower, and if they can just zone out BE, I think they're in really great positions to win. They need to control the left side where Axis and as well as VIS is going to start making their moves, but for now, we're seeing that Farang taking full control and finishing off the last couple of squads. Team Badun, what are you doing? They're trying to gatekeep Farang.
They're flying back in with members disadvantage to fight Farang. This is very, very ambitious, but Farang, in fact, they don't want any of this problem. They're like, Team Badun, you go out of the circle, guess what? We are going to take control and take this fight straight to the hot zone with BE and Kraken.
I mean, Kraken need to take advantage of the situation here as Farang trying to play towards the outer side of the compound and making sure that Spade is able to get out towards the ring to give them some support. It might be able to help as the high ground is being taken over by... Wait! It's VIS! They're getting involved!
I mean, TB is also shooting from afar. This could be a round that they can steal away as Kraken now, they are under heavy pressure from Visionaries. Twigs with the RGS-40 just constantly lobbing grenades at them. 2 members of Kraken already out, and Visionaries have 11 kills right now.
I mean, if you're Team Badut right now, you need to start shooting high ground targets here. You need to let Farang do their thing on the low ground. Let them take all the fights they want. They don't want to shoot back, and if they do, you put them in their place. The ring pulls away from the Clock Tower compound.
Oh, this is anyone's games right now. Team Badut, they thought they made the big brave move, but they can still move into the circle because everyone else is preoccupied by at least 2 other parties. Visionaries, Farang, these 2 teams, they are locked in this fight. But the good news is that Farang, they do not have to deal with Visionaries.
Oh, Kraken, the last member left, might get eliminated here as the Visionaries are walking in to close out that fight as soon as possible. Bomb rushing it, and VIS now in a great spot as they see Four Eyes.
Uh-oh, TB. They might be the first one to reach the circle, but they now are facing the wrath of Visionaries, and all this while Farang left undetected. I do not think Visionaries know that Farang is in that area, and Farang might be able to third-party this.
I mean, between Esports, Snake, he's playing like his namesake, right? He's really taking his time at this moment as VIS is taking damage from all sides. Finally, Farang recognized that Team Baru, they're on their side. They need them to get into this ring unless Snake has something to do about it.
Oh, wow, Jembao. The awareness to turn around for that kill gives them the 11th point, and now Team Badut, you have 2 squads that you need to deal with, but you can also let Farang and Visionaries take each other out. It seems like Visionaries will turn their attention over towards Farang, and Team Badut, they get to pick off stragglers.
Yep, this is great. They have a big structure to play with. This rock is actually so... They're thankful for this one rock compared to VIS and Farang, who are playing around, well, just one tree.
Oh man, Alif, he has that grenade launcher. He's starting to really chip away at the health bars of Visionaries. Ice grenade as well. Glue melter a bit far to the back, but Visionaries are starting to be exposed, and Faiz with the snipe is going to wipe out K9 Visionaries with Farang. Such a clean and calculated aggression, and now they're looking for the jugular of Team B.
All right, the cluster grenades are already out. It's squad v squad right now. 3v4 is the rest of Farang coming in on both fronts. Aleph taking the space, going into CQC. The Four Eyes ended up getting traded by hers. Jumpal turns around, Naive is dead, and now the rest of Farang will collapse on the last remaining member to try and secure this booyah for free. Jumpal, he is so nasty on that flank. Sniper rifle at CQC range. Stop it, my guy.
17 eliminations and a booyah, 29 points to start off the day. Farang are coming in hot. This is one of the few rosters that have stuck together for a long time. They've been to the world stage together when they first formed 2 years ago, and right now they have recovered. I think that's the best way to describe this team.
I think they got lucky in a couple of those situations. Like